Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going over all of my 2021 NFL season predictions from division winners to NFL award winners. If you enjoy this content, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. So today we've got my 2021 season predictions from division winners to the eventual Super Bowl champ and my MVP, comeback player of the year, all of those awards. So let's get it started with the NFC divisional winners. I'm going to start in the NFC East, and I actually have the Cowboys winning this division. It pains me to have the Cowboys win this division when the Cowboys, clearly aren't an elite team in the NFC, but I think this division is going to be pretty bad yet again. We have, Jalen Hurts as the Eagles starting quarterback. I think the Eagles could possibly finish last in this division. And then you have Daniel Jones and the Giants, who have come in looking terrible this preseason. Kenny Galladay has even admitted their offense is going to start off slow. He hasn't been healthy the entire year, so I really don't feel great about the Giants in that division. And then talking about the Washington football team, it's all about Ryan Fitzpatrick for me. I think their defense is elite, but I think Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to lose them some games. Relying on Fitzpatrick to get you to the playoffs has definitely failed in the past, and I don't see it working out for Washington in 2021. So I'll take the Cowboys, an elite offense in the NFC, but clearly struggle on defense. I think they'll be able to outscore most of their opponents. In the NFC West, I'm going to go with the Los Angeles Rams and Matthew Stafford. I think the addition of Stafford is really going to show in the Sean McVay offense. Jared Goff clearly, showed limitations within the offense, and I think Sean McVay having that, veteran quarterback presence who has 4,000, 5,000 yard passing seasons under his belt is going to show. So I like the Rams in that division. And that's just talking the offensive side of the ball. They have Jalen Ramsey, who's the best corner in the NFL, in my opinion. And then you have Aaron Donald, who's the best defensive player in the league. So on defense, it's going to be hard to, on offense, the opposing teams aren't going to be able to move the ball too well. So I like the Rams to win the NFC West, but I also like the Niners and the Seahawks to come out. I'll talk about my wild card teams in a second, but I like the Rams to win the NFC West and grab that number 2 overall seed. In the NFC North, I like the Packers to win that division, for obvious reasons. I think this division is, booty cheeks. They pretty much don't have much to offer, especially the Lions, probably a bottom 3 team in the league. You've got the Vikings, who I think actually could emerge as a better team than last year, but definitely not the Bears. I think the Packers run away with the NFC North. Making our way into the NFC South, I definitely think the Buccaneers win this division. I don't think the Saints are going to be any good. I'll take them under 500. I think the Falcons will be okay, and the Panthers will also be okay, but none of them enough to sneak into that playoff contention. So looking at my NFC wild card, like I said, I have the Niners getting in there, and then I have the Seahawks getting in there. And my third team is actually going to be the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings return a lot of pieces on defense. They signed Everson Griffin, who, he was elite with the Vikings. He hasn't played pretty much at all away from the Vikings, so that's a perfect fit for them. Danielle Hunter's coming off of injury. They signed Patrick Peterson, who looks pretty bad, to be honest. So I don't know, but it can't be any worse than last season for the Minnesota Vikings defense. I think they sneak in and get that wild card, mainly due to Kirk Cousins and that offense with Justin Jefferson and Dalvin Cook. And that will wrap up my NFC side. So like I said, the divisional winners, I have the Rams, Bucks, and Cowboys. And then for the wild card, I have the Niners, Seahawks, and Vikings. Okay, so let's jump right into my AFC divisional winners. So I am going to start with the AFC East, and I think the Bills win this division hands down. Now, a lot of people are predicting the Patriots to be a pretty solid team. I don't think they're going to be much of a threat to the Buffalo Bills, to be honest with you. I know they have Bill Belichick and his defense, but I heard that story last year, and their defense really wasn't that impressive. I know they're bringing guys back, but I might just be a Patriots hater, and I'm fine with that. But I don't think the Patriots are going to be above 500 in 2021. I'll take the Bills. I think the Dolphins will be the second best team in that division, with Tua taking a step forward this year. But ultimately, the Bills being the only playoff team in the AFC East. Moving on to the AFC West, there are a few intriguing teams in here, being the Broncos and the Chargers. I really am high on the Chargers this year because they get Derwin James, Joey Bosa back on the defensive side of the ball, and then they have solid corner play with Chris Harris, and they should be pretty good on the offensive side of the ball, obviously, with Justin Herbert heading into year two with, weapons like Keenan Allen and Austin Eckler. It's hard not to see a path for the Chargers to get to the playoffs. But, of course, the Chiefs are going to win this AFC West for however many years to come. I'm going to take the Chiefs there. And in the AFC North, I think things are really teams are starting to separate themselves in this AFC North, including the Baltimore Ravens going in the wrong direction, in my opinion. I was high on them going into the 2021 season, but after, J.K. Dobbins going down to injury, Justice Hill tearing his Achilles, and Rashad Bateman on the IR to start the season, I am a little bit lower on the Ravens, and I actually might even put the Steelers ahead of them at this point. I will take the Browns to actually win this division with one of the best rosters in the NFL. So that's going to be my divisional winners for the AFC. And I actually didn't go over the AFC South, but I have the Titans winning that division pretty easily. I think they're going to be maybe even a 13-4 team this year with the 17 games. I really am high on the Titans. They shouldn't be changing up too many things. I know they're changing the offensive coordinator switched, but I feel like the Titans are poised for a pretty good 2021 season. So when it comes to my wild card picks from the AFC, I have the Chargers coming out of the AFC West, and then I have the Colts coming out of the AFC South, and the Steelers coming out of the AFC North, leaving the Ravens out. And trust me, I'm surprised as you are. I didn't see a world where the Ravens don't make the playoffs, but the way they're heading into the season, I am not high on the Ravens anymore. I could see them slipping out of, one of the best divisions in football. So that leaves me for my NFC Championship game, where I'm going to have the 49ers playing the Bucs in the NFC Championship game. In order for the 49ers to get there, they play the Seahawks, and then they would have to play the Packers, and we own the Packers in the playoffs. So I've got the Niners going to the NFC Championship game, playing the Bucs, but ultimately falling to the Buccaneers. So the Bucs will be heading to another Super Bowl where they will face the winner of the Browns and the Chiefs. And I actually have the Browns winning this one, and I'm picking the Browns as my Super Bowl champs in 2021. So Bucs Browns in the Super Bowl, and I will take the Browns holding that Lombardi trophy at the end of the 2021 season. Okay, so now that my season is completely broken down, I'm going to go ahead and get straight to the awards. We're going to start with the rookie awards. So Offensive Rookie of the Year, I think it's going to be Najee Harris of the Pittsburgh Steelers. It is hard not to see the upside of this kid when Pittsburgh historically will give all of the workload to, a back that they believe in. They took this kid in the first round, and Najee Harris is due for 300 plus touches potentially in 2021. He's super young, and actually when I say he's super young, he's in that age range where he can break out, but he's older as a college prospect. I believe he's 23 or 24. So you actually do like that in a running back. He's pretty mature, and I think, the sky's the limit for Najee Harris. As long as he gets some okay blocking from the Steelers offensive line, I think Najee is going to have a big, big year. Now, jumping to Defensive Rookie of the Year, it's a guy I've been on the entire offseason, the pre-draft, all that stuff. It's going to be J.C. Horn out of South Carolina, 7th overall pick to the Carolina Panthers. I think J.C. Horn is going to have a big, big year. I think he's really a lockdown corner, and he's going to come out year one and show that he can match up man-to-man against any receiver in the NFL. That's kind of a bold take because not a lot of people are high on J.C. Horn with, Defensive Rookie of the Year options like Micah Parsons or even Patrick Surtain of the Denver Broncos. So, but personally, I'm going to go with J.C. Horn. Moving on to my Defensive Player of the Year, it's got to be Myles Garrett from the Cleveland Browns. He is due for a Defensive Player of the Year. He's been top 10 in the NFL Top 100. He's clearly one of the best defensive forces in the NFL, and I think with Clowney being on the other side, it's only going to make things, a little bit more easier for Myles Garrett. And I think in 2021, he can push for over 20 sacks. So that being said, I've got my Offensive Player of the Year being Nick Chubb of the Cleveland Browns, and my bold take would be that he rushes for over 2,000 yards this season. I'm very high on the Browns this year. They just have such a good offensive line, such a good defensive line, and they're so well coached. Baker doesn't have to throw 40 passes a game. They have Kareem Hunt, as a second running back. I think they're poised to win a championship, to be, quite honest with you. And my comeback player of the year is a toss-up between Saquon Barkley and Dak Prescott. I went with Saquon Barkley of the New York Giants. I think if he's healthy, by week 2, week 3, and getting that workload, he's going to, showcase his talents like he did his rookie season. And I think Saquon Barkley runs away with the Comeback Player of the Year award. And my MVP for the 2021 NFL season is actually going to be Los Angeles Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford. Now, one of my bold predictions for the 2021 NFL season is that Stafford is going to throw 40-plus touchdowns. And I can see this because he hasn't had a receiving core like he has in Los Angeles ever. He's had Calvin Johnson, but he's never had a full core of receivers. And with Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, Deshaun Jackson, showing flashes in camp, catching deep passes like it's, 2012 again, I think sky's the limit for Matthew Stafford. And not to mention guys like Tutu Atwell, who they drafted, really speedy guy. He can be one of those gadget players for the Los Angeles Rams. I think Stafford throws 40-plus touchdowns, and the Rams have a really successful season in 2021. That is going to do it for today's video. The season is right around the corner. We've got game 1 on Thursday. Tomorrow I'm going to be dropping my fantasy football rankings for week 1, so stay tuned.